The survival genre is no longer just about battling hunger and thirst. Open worlds are expanding, systems are becoming deeper, and players are expected to make more informed decisions. Upcoming titles aim to push the genre further with diverse scenarios ranging from post-apocalyptic worlds to frozen landscapes. In this video, we've compiled a list of noteworthy upcoming survival games. If you're looking for deeper, more original, and different survival experiences, this list is for you. Surviving in a disaster scenario where the world is covered in ice forms the core experience of Permafrost. Players not only search for food and equipment in this frozen landscape, but also constantly battle the cold. Gathering resources, building shelter, and crafting equipment become essential parts of survival, while environmental conditions make every decision more difficult. Offering both single-player and co-op support, the game makes teamwork a safer and more planned process. The open-world structure encourages exploration, while encounters with other survivors and unexpected threats keep the tension high. Avoiding fast-paced action, Permafrost embraces a survival approach that focuses on patience, resilience, and strategy. Among the upcoming survival games, it appeals to those seeking a more realistic and challenging experience with its cold theme and harsh atmosphere. Road to Vostok takes the survival genre to a more intense and realistic level. Set in a post-apocalyptic world on the border between Finland and Russia, players' goal isn't just to loot, but to make the right decisions to survive. The game stands out with its single-player mode, but the risks, approaching a permadeath system, make planning every step essential. Realistic weapon handling, manual ammo management, and a minimalist design keep the tension high. Dynamic weather conditions, day-night cycles, and random encounters transform the world into a living space. Road to Vostok distinguishes itself from classic survival games with its focus on patience, attention, and strategy rather than fast-paced action. Among the games expected to be released around 2026, it stands out as a must-see project for players seeking a more hardcore and realistic survival experience. As One We Survive is a survival game that explores the theme through a personal story, focusing on human relationships. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, players control a father's struggle to find help for his sick daughter. The top-down gameplay revolves not only around gathering resources and building a base, but also around the idea of keeping a small community alive. Finding food, building shelter, and providing defense are crucial, as are the bonds formed with NPC characters. A realistic healing system and limited resources make every conflict risky, and the decisions made directly affect the fate of the community. Rather than an action-oriented survival experience, As One We Survive offers a heavier atmosphere built on responsibility, sacrifice, and planning. With its emotional narrative and community management-centered structure, it appeals to players seeking a different experience that goes beyond classic survival tropes. Subnautica 2 aims to preserve the core spirit of the series by taking the survival experience to an entirely new ocean world. Exploration, resource gathering, and equipment crafting remain central to gameplay as players strive for survival in a foreign and dangerous underwater ecosystem. The increasing pressure and sense of uncertainty as they descend force players to act cautiously and strategically. In this new installment, the process of establishing a base, upgrading vehicles, and exploring the environment becomes more comprehensive. One of the most notable innovations is the co-op support, allowing players to experience this challenging journey together as a team. While solo gameplay is retained, exploring the deep oceans with friends adds a new dimension to the survival process. With its focus on atmosphere, suspense, and exploration rather than action, Subnautica 2 is considered an ambitious sequel aiming to advance the underwater survival genre. Everwind, set on islands floating in the sky, combines survival and exploration with creative freedom. Players not only gather resources but also establish a flying base, allowing them to freely travel between different islands. Each island offers new materials, different dangers, and areas waiting to be explored, with progression largely dependent on the player's imagination and planning. The crafting system allows for the upgrade of equipment, the construction of structures, and the shaping of the world over time through the player's touch. Offering both single-player and co-op support, Everwind emphasizes the idea of collaborative crafting and exploration. With its sandbox-focused structure, free building system, and flying island concept, Everwind aims to deliver a creativity-based survival experience by transporting the feeling of freedom similar to Minecraft to a more detailed and atmospheric world. Blackfrost: The Long Dark 2 is a sequel that reshapes the survival genre through themes of cold, loneliness, and despair. Set in the harsh climate of the North, this new installment retains the atmosphere of the previous game while taking the experience further with larger areas and deeper systems. Players will struggle with hunger, cold, and environmental hazards, with resource management and sound decision-making still forming the basis of survival. This time, thanks to the added co-op support, it's possible to survive in this challenging world alone or as a team. Industrial zones, abandoned settlements, and fluctuating weather conditions keep the game's sense of threat constantly alive. With its focus on atmosphere and suspense rather than action, Blackfrost: The Long Dark 2 offers a survival experience that demands patience. Expected to be released around 2026, it stands out as a strong contender among survival games, targeting both classic The Long Dark fans and those seeking a deeper, slower-paced experience. Outbound offers a unique experience that shapes the survival theme around the idea of a journey in harmony with nature. Instead of a fixed base in this world, players try to survive by transforming their own caravan-like vehicles into living spaces. Resource gathering, crafting, energy management, and sustainable systems are central to the gameplay, while progression depends entirely on the player's planning. Traveling between different biomes, adapting to environmental conditions, and continuously upgrading the vehicle form the basis of the survival cycle. The game can be played solo, but thanks to co-op support, it allows for team exploration and crafting, offering a calm exploration and building-based pace rather than an action-oriented structure. Outbound aims for a more peaceful yet strategic experience, deviating from classic survival games. With its nature-integrated atmosphere, mobile living space concept, and sandbox structure, it stands out among games that bring a different perspective to the survival genre. Rooted stands out as a game set in a post-apocalyptic world, aiming to present the classic survival experience with a more realistic approach. In this world where nature has reclaimed cities after a bacterial catastrophe, players must contend not only with hunger and thirst, but also with environmental threats. Thanks to its open-world structure, the game offers a constant cycle of exploration between abandoned cities and the wilderness, while focusing on resource gathering, equipment crafting, and shelter building. With solo and co-op gameplay support, it's possible to progress alone or as a team. The most important point that distinguishes Rooted from similar survival games is its focus on the feeling of survival rather than action, forcing the player to plan. Its visuals, developed with Unreal Engine 5, enhance the atmosphere, and it is positioned as a project to watch out for those seeking a more serious and grounded experience among survival games, expected to be released around 2026. Light No Fire is an ambitious project that combines survival and exploration with a massive fantasy world. Developed by the creators of No Man's Sky, the game aims to offer a persistent universe spread across a single world-sized map. In this universe, players not only strive for survival, but also explore, build structures, and shape the world over the long term. Hunger, environmental hazards, and resource management form the cornerstones of the game, while the sandbox structure allows each player's experience to unfold in a unique way. It can be played solo or with other players, sharing the world and progressing together. Light No Fire focuses more on a long cycle of exploration, building, and survival than on fast-paced action. Among the survival games expected to be released in the near future, it is considered a remarkable title that pushes the boundaries of the genre with its scale, freedom, and persistent world concept. Terminator Survivors aims to offer an atmospheric experience centered on the idea of survival in a world where humanity has been nearly completely wiped out. Set after a catastrophic world overrun by machines, the game puts players in the shoes of a small resistance struggling to survive in dangerous zones. Finding resources, building shelter, and constantly moving under threat form the core of the gameplay, with the feeling of survival pressing down on the player at every moment. Exploring open areas is as important as stealth and avoiding conflict. The single-player design makes this struggle more solitary and tense. The dark atmosphere of the Terminator universe, supported by environmental storytelling and a constant sense of threat, forces the player to play cautiously. Set in a familiar universe, this game prioritizes survival and suspense over action, offering a strong alternative for those who want to experience the Terminator world from a harsher and more vulnerable perspective.